Coding Dojo is a programming school that turns beginners into developers in only 14 weeks. If you're serious about landing a career in tech but lack the formal education or background, Coding Dojo will get you there in no time. With over 3,000 graduates to date, over 90% of their grads land jobs within 3 months of graduating, often making over $70K per year at tech firms of all sizes, from companies like Google to local startups. To learn more, visit codingdojo.com or click the link in the description below.
Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here, and I have a question about what someone is calling the law of reversed effect. I don't know if I've heard this before, if it's an actual law, but this is from Zayad, and he says, I searched the idea of the law of reversed effort. Now he's called it reversed effort. We'll have to see. Actually, it is a very weird / true / false. I see a lot of my friends don't give a fuck about something beneficial in their lives, and they end up getting them like magic. Other friends, including me, the thing I pursued in all my heart, trying very hard, I end up failing in and not getting results I wanted. What is the real stuff here? There is some kind of paradox. The harder we work at something, the less effective we are. Thanks, John. So, this is interesting. So this concept, if I understand it correctly, is that the people that are not trying to get this thing, it comes to them. You know, these people that aren't trying, they don't care about this fucking thing, it comes to them. And the people that are trying, that want it so bad, it eludes them, okay? Now, there's a lot of things in life that are like this. In fact, you might say that life itself is like this, right? So here's one, right? If you chase happiness, you won't ever get it. But if you don't chase happiness, it'll come to you. It'll chase you, right? If you just live your life, right? And there's people that chase happiness. They're chasing after joy, and they're chasing after being happy, and they're like, why can't I be happy? I just want to be happy. I want to be happy. And they're trying to do everything to make their lives happy, right? They're seeking that pleasure, and it eludes them. They can never get it. Whereas the people that don't give a fuck about pleasure or don't give a fuck about happiness, they're just happy people, right? The happiness finds them. This applies to so many things in life, right? If you're trying to get a loan, right? If you've ever tried to get a loan and you need the money, the bank won't give it to you, okay? Because you need the money. But when you don't need the money, when you've got good credit and you've got plenty of money in the bank, then PayPal is calling you up and saying, hey, we would like to give you a business loan, right? It happens to me all the time. I'm like, I don't want one. I don't need one. Where were you when I needed the damn money? Where were you then? Okay? And so there's a couple of things going on here. So I think this is a real effect that happens. I think this really honestly happens in life. And there's a couple of reasons why I think this happens. I think one of the biggest ones is this idea of neediness, right? And so I'll talk to you guys a little bit here about, you know, when you're chasing girls and you're doing it from a need because you need some kind of external fulfillment, they sense that, people sense that, and they sense that you have a need, that you're trying to extract value from them, and they run away, right? There's nothing that you have to offer. But when you don't care, like some of your friends, maybe they don't give a fuck, those girls, they sense that, and they're like, oh, this guy, he actually has something to offer. He doesn't have neediness. He doesn't have a hold plug. He's got his own validation. It's internal. He doesn't need external validation. You can check out the video on external validation here, but you know, he's got something to offer, right? He's not trying to grasp. He's not trying to extract value. Maybe he's even giving value because he's giving it freely, right? It's the same thing. You could think of that as the bank account and the bank, right? When you go into the banker's office and you try to get the loan, and he's like, and you're like, you're coming off as, oh, I really need this money. I really need this so I can make this business, my dream, come true. Right? He's like, this guy's kind of needy. He's kind of desperate for the money, right? But if you're someone who's got lots of money and you're like, you know, if you give me the loan, it's great, but I've got plenty of, you know, I don't really need it. I'm doing great. You know, the business is doing good. They're like, oh, okay, you know, I could give this guy some money, right? So that's how kind of life works. And so sometimes, you know, the other thing that kind of plays into effect is this idea of trying too hard. Right? You got to just be. You can't just be trying so hard all the time, right, to get what you want. Instead, you've got to, you know, there's a difference between like wanting something bad and actually taking actions to pursue it, right? And a lot of times the people who, quote, want it so bad, they spend most of their time daydreaming and wishing for the thing that they want instead of actually taking steps towards it, right? And so with the people that, and this is that irony there, right? It's like you're either like wanting to live your life or you're fucking living it, right? Like you're either wanting your goal or you're walking towards it. And when you're so busy walking towards your goal, your purpose in life, the thing that you're trying to accomplish, and you're just so filled with the motivation and the life and the action of taking action, you're kind of not really caring about the goal. Like, I mean, you're aiming in that direction, but you're not dwelling on it anymore. You're just like, you're kind of letting it go. You're kind of not giving a fuck, right? And then it magically comes to you. You magically get there by virtue of not caring so much, right? But when you're caring so much and you're trying so desperately and you're holding on to the stream and you really want this thing, okay, you're putting too much on the outcome. Okay, and when you put too much pressure on the outcome, or you care too much about the results, you're in a real danger there of trying too hard and trying to force things, right? And what ends up happening, right? If we talk about the psychological mechanisms that happens within you, is that what happens is that when you want an outcome really, really badly, okay, you start to self-sabotage. You put so much weight on it, so much emphasis on it, that you sort of jinx yourself. You sort of choke, right? You choke under the pressure. You create this pressure situation, and it influences the way that you act, right? When you're doing the best, right? When you're doing the best in life, you're in what they call the flow or the zone, right? And that state is when things are just natural, they're flowing. That's when you're doing the best and you have the best chance of success, where you're able to perform the best when things are just kind of flowing. But when you're really like white knuckling it and you're really like trying to make things happen and you're so scared that something's not going to happen, or you're so dependent on the results, you're not performing your best. And most of the time you're under that kind of choking condition, right? The best athletes, the best performers, they have pressure, but they do well under the pressure because they don't care about the results so much, right? They know that they want the result, but they let go of it at the time. And there's this kind of weird paradox, right? I think you hit on this, but there is this kind of weird paradox of wanting it, but not wanting it, right? It's sort of, you got to be able to hold these two concepts in your mind. You got to be able to like point in the direction. And this is where I would emphasize, I'll put up the playlist for trusting the process here, is trusting the process, right? Trusting the process is all about disconnecting the results from the process that gets you there. It's got to be about the process. So, when you're working towards this, when you're trusting the process, what you're doing is you're saying, okay, look, this is the objective that I want, right? I want $1 million. I want this, I want to be, successful with women. I want to have an awesome physique. I want whatever it is, right? I want to start this business, right? I want to write this book, okay? So you've got the end result that you want, okay? And you've got that in your mind, and you clearly have thought about this and have determined what it is exactly that you want. But then you stop thinking about that and you start thinking about what is the process that I need to do in order to get there, and you just start taking the action, okay? So, I give you one last example here, and then I'm gonna call it on this video because this one's getting a little long. But essentially, let's say that you wanted to get in shape and you wanted to, let's say, lose 30 pounds, get fit, I do this, right? I'm trying to, always improve my physique and get better. If I spend my time just wanting it so bad and focusing on that, then my mind is occupied. I'm more likely to fall into temptation, and I'm more likely to be discouraged because I'm not seeing the results. But if I'm just like, look, here's what you need to do, and I come up with the plan and I execute, I'm like, I need to go for a fucking run. I need to go and eat this thing. I need to go and hit the gym and lift. And I'm so focused on the action, right? The process. If I just focus on that and just executing as best as I can the action, then I'm much more likely to achieve the result rather than if I just focus on the result, right? And that's the thing. It's like if you're in this stage in life and you're finding this happen, right? Stop focusing on the result. Focusing on the result. Most of the people that email me, right, and say, "Oh, I really want this," and I ask them, "How bad do you want it?" They say really, really bad. But they don't really want it really, really bad. They're because they're focused on the result so much, right? And instead, you have to focus on the process that's going to take you to the result. And when you shift your focus there, then you get to the point where you kind of don't give a fuck about the result, and ironically, that law starts to work for you. So don't be trying too hard. Don't be like trying to crush that butterfly in your hand. Instead, let it go. Let it be free, and focus on the process that you need in order to get the result, rather than the result itself. You know, and people will see this. People will see this in the way that you react, and you won't come off needy, right? And you will be operating more in the zone rather than being in your head. All right. So I know that's a lot to digest here, but if you haven't already, click that subscribe button below. Click the bell so you don't miss any videos. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.